Robot lawyer. Might your next legal counselor at any point be a robot? It sounds fantastical. However, man-made reasoning, simulated intelligence, programming frameworks, PC programs that can refresh and think without anyone else, are progressively being utilized by the legitimate local area. Joshua Browder portrays his application Do Not Pay as the world's most memorable robot legal advisor. It assists clients with drafting legitimate letters. You let its chatbot know your concern, for example, engaging against a stopping fine, and it will propose its thought process is the best lawful language to utilize. Individuals can type in their side of a contention utilizing their own words, and programming with an AI model coordinates that with a lawfully right approach to saying it, he says. The 24-year-old and his organization are situated in Silicon Valley in California, yet the association's starting points returned to London in 2015, when Mr. Browder was 18. Joshua Browder. Picture source: Joshua Browder. Picture inscription: Joshua Browder created Do Not Pay to address his own need, challenging stopping tickets. As a late youngster in Hendon, North London, I was a horrendous driver, he says. I got a ton of costly stopping tickets, which, since I was still in optional school, I was unable to bear. Through loads of exploration and opportunity of data demands, Mr. Browder says he tracked down the most ideal ways to challenge the tickets. On the off chance that you know the right comments, you can save a great deal of time and cash. Instead of reorder a similar report each time, he says it appeared the ideal occupation for programming. So he made the principal rendition of Do Not Pay in half a month in 2015, simply to dazzle my loved ones. From that point forward, the application has spread across the UK and US, and it can now assist the client with composing letters, managing a scope of issues, protection claims, applying for traveler visas, grievance letters to a business or nearby power, getting your cash back for a vacation you can as of now not continue, or dropping rec center enrollment. Mr. Browder says the last two purposes took off during the pandemic. Do Not Pay currently claims to have 150,000 paying supporters. And keeping in mind that it has its fault finders, with some maxim its legitimate counsel isn't adequately precise, last year it won an honor from the American Bar Relationship for expanding lawful access. Mr. Browder claims 80% in general achievement rate, down to 65% for stopping tickets, since certain individuals are blameworthy. A sculpture of the balances of equity remains over the Old Bailey on January 19, 2021 in London, Britain. Picture source: Getty Pictures. Picture inscription: Attorneys utilizing artificial intelligence is turning into the standard, says lawful programming supervisor Eleanor Weaver. You could figure human attorneys would fear computer-based intelligence infringing on their turf. Yet, some are satisfied, as the product can be utilized to rapidly fish through and sort huge amounts of case records. One such legal counselor is Sally Hobson, an attorney at London-based law office The 36 Gathering, who deals with criminal cases. She has of late involved simulated intelligence in a mind-boggling murder preliminary. The case included expecting to investigate in excess of 10,000 reports rapidly. The product did the errand a month quicker than it would have taken people, saving £50,000 simultaneously. Legal counselors involving computer-based intelligence for help is turning into the standard, and at this point not a thing that is ideal to have, says Eleanor Weaver, CEO of Luminance, which makes the product Ms. Hobson utilizes. In excess of 300 other law offices in 55 nations likewise use it, working in 80 dialects. Eleanor Weaver. Picture source: Eleanor Weaver. Picture inscription: Eleanor Weaver says that record-checking programming is currently significantly better compared to it used to be. Generally, you had a great deal of document checking, innovations that were no more excellent than watchword look, such as hitting Ctrl+F on your PC, says Ms. Weaver. On the other hand, she says that the present complex programming can interface related words and expressions. Computer-based intelligence is, be that as it may, not simply assisting attorneys with figuring out narrative proof. It can likewise now help them get ready and construction their case, and quest for any important lawful points of reference. Lawrence Lieberman, who heads London law office Taylor Wessing's Digitizing Debates program, uses such programming, which has been created by an Israeli firm called Dispute. You transfer your case synopsis and your pleadings, and it will go in and sort out who the vital participants are, he says. And afterward, the computer-based intelligence will interface them together and arrange an order of the vital occasions and clarification of what occurs on what dates. A man being captured in Brazil. Picture source: Getty Pictures. Picture inscription. A few nations, like Brazil, have an enormous buildup of legal disputes that the utilization of computer-based intelligence attorneys and judges could help tackle. In the meantime, Bruce Broad, boss innovation official of Deloitte Legitimate, the lawful arm of bookkeeping monster Deloitte, says that its Duty I programming framework can examine authentic court information for comparative expense advance cases. The firm cases it can accurately foresee how requests will be resolved 70% of the time. It gives a more quantifiable method of what is your probability of progress, which you can use to decide whether you ought to continue, adds Mr. Broad. However, while simulated intelligence can assist with composing legitimate letters, or help human legal counselors, will we at any point see a period of robot specialists and lawyers, or even robot judges? I think, truly in actuality, we're not even close to that, says Ms. Weaver. However, others, similar to Professor Richard Susskind, who seats the ruler boss equity of Britain's warning gathering on man-made intelligence, aren't completely certain. Professor Richard Susskind. Picture source: Richard Susskind. Picture inscription. Professor Richard Susskind says that computer-based intelligence frameworks are progressively exact by the way they foresee the consequences of legal disputes. Professor Susskind says during the 1980s he was really sickened by the possibility of a PC judge, however that he isn't presently. He brings up that even before COVID, Brazil had a court overabundance of in excess of 100 million legal disputes, and that there is no way of human-appointed authorities and legal counselors discarding a caseload of that size. So on the off chance that an artificial intelligence framework can precisely, say with 95% likelihood, foresee the result of court choices, he says that perhaps we could begin pondering regarding these expectations as restricting judgments, particularly in nations that have outlandishly enormous accumulations.